Hey, Tim Sykes here. Good morning. Crazy times right now. I don't have great Wi-Fi, so this is my backup trading platform, but I want to let you know about the hottest trend right now. It is these two, three, $4 stocks that are really spiking. MBRX is probably the biggest winner that I see. Specs also from 1 to 4, and also AVEO, has gone from the ones to the twos. These ones replace the former hot spikes on DCTH, which went from 5 to 35 cents. Mara, which went from 15 to 55. What was the other one? ANY went from 12 to 30 cents. Long story short, we have higher priced penny stocks that are really surging. And you guys need to be aware of this. This is what I love about penny stocks. The trend changes every few days. There are new hot stocks every few days. The whole world hates on penny stocks. Meanwhile, the S&P 500 is down 1% right now, or the NASDAQ is down 1.1% today. And the whole market is crashing, and yet, somewhat crashing. And yet, these penny stocks are on fire. No different than last week with the lower price stocks. So let the world hate on penny stocks. Seriously, a lot of you guys message me and you're like, Tim, why does everyone hate on penny stocks? Because they don't understand it. Because they think about trying to value these companies based on, profits and revenues like the rest of the stock market. And those indicators don't really apply. So let the hate continue. It's fine as long as you know how to trade them. I've actually been, not dead on, actually not right at all the past 2 days. I tried DXTR long yesterday on the attempted breakout. After my previous DXTR was a nice profit of roughly 10%. And then yesterday, DXTR did not break out, so I got out. Today, I was trying to short AVEO, and I was going for a morning panic. And AVEO had like a little bit of a panic, but it didn't really drop below 2. It dropped below 2 for like a minute, so I got out. If you're ever wrong on any of these penny stocks, rule number 1, cut losses quickly, or you don't have to wait for a loss. Like if the stock isn't doing what you want, you simply get out. DXTR, I protected myself yesterday when it couldn't spike. It tried, it got to 37 cents, but it couldn't definitively break out. And I warned about this in that pre-market video lesson that I sent to subscribers yesterday. I encourage you to watch video lessons when I do send them out pre-market. Leave a comment below this video with the word pre-market if you want more pre-market video lessons. I'm doing a little test because, frankly, I think pre-market video lessons are very useful to prepare you for that day, but I did not get that many people watching it. So I want to give you guys one more shot. If you want pre-market video lessons, just leave a comment below this video saying one word, pre-market, and I'll judge and see. But DXTR, I warned yesterday, pre-market in the video, I would give it a chance to morning spike, but it previously had resistance at 35, 36, and 38. So if there wasn't a convincing breakout, I simply would exit. And that's exactly what I did. And I protected myself today, nice morning panic, because again, the lower price stocks aren't spiking the way that they were last week or earlier this week. AVEO, okay, first potential down day, but we didn't get any, true panic. I shorted it right around here. I'd be break even right now if I didn't exit. But I didn't get the big panic that I wanted. So with these penny stocks, it's very important for you guys to understand that if the play is not doing what you want, you don't have to hold, you don't have to hope. Hope is not a strategy. You simply can exit and play it safe. Small gains or small losses, that's fine. It's a scratch for your account, but you learn an important lesson. AVEO, still potential first down day. I still might short this, but it just didn't give me the big panic that I wanted when I shorted. NXTD did. I was actually looking for shares to short. I alerted this in the chat room right into this spike in the 220s, and I chose the wrong one. I chose AVEO. This is a nice little 30-cent a share drop. So a nice 15% drop off the morning spike. This stock never holds its gains. People ask, how did I know? I mean, I've lost track of how many times this stock has spiked in the past. Since 2017. This is the beginning of 2017. One big spike, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is really like the best it's performed. And I mean, this is nearly a dozen times in 2017. Look at the trend. The trend clearly, it does have spikes, but by the end of the day, it crumbles. So that's why NXTD is a potential short. Also, I saw several different newsletters trying to promote it. So it's also very sketchy stock. But I got to congratulate some students, because you guys are killing it. Look at this. This guy, Zach Lyon, he said, this is the chat room. He left another 6,000 on the table for specs, but where was his post earlier? There's too many messages. Oh, here it is. He said, thanks, fellas, for notifying me if specs made 1,000 in 12 minutes. I'm off to work. And he left 6,000 on the table. Oh, he already left. You can, by the way, if you're in the chat room, you can leave messages for people. It's kind of cool. Trade. Awesome job, man. Enjoy your normal job now, too. So he made $1,000 in 12 minutes, and my guess is he's probably going into, work to make, I don't know, a few $100s over several hours. And he left $6,000 on the table. That's, most people's like monthly salary. So that is the beauty of these penny stocks if you have the right mindset. Here's another guy, nano cap trader, beautiful little trader, in at 374, out at 404, made 10%. Marky Mark shorted specs, so there's volatility on the ups and the downs. And I commented that I liked AVO squeezing more because I'm glad to be out. I don't. Shorting is scary right now. It doesn't matter how junky these stocks are; they just keep going. So I'm going to play it, safer. And this is why I've been buying more in 2017. A lot of people are like, Tim, you're known for short selling. I adapt, okay? And today I chose wrong. AVO, wouldn't really crack, just as Grind All the Time says. Thank you, Grind All the Time. But this is good for those of you guys who prefer buying. Here's Snake Eyes in specs on the dip at 318, out at 379, 1,000 shares, made $600. Nice job. And I want to show you that these guys do it. Here's James JVI in at specs 324, out at 414. Teamwork makes the dream work. Beautiful. And I didn't even trade this. Some of you guys messaged me. They're like, how do these students know what to trade? You're not trading it. Because I teach my students patterns. Unlike every other chat room, it's not follow the leader in my chat room, okay? I shorted AVEO. Most of my chat room was buying SPEX or shorting it when it got a little too crazy, okay? You can do whatever you want, and I encourage you to think on your own. This is why, I send out commentary. I send out much more commentary than just trade alerts. Trade alerts are not the end-all, be-all. Here's Ala Jam. MBRX, love it. Bought at 288 and 350. Sold at 310. I don't know if that's a gain, but he loves it. I don't know. He didn't do position sizes. Let's see. Tran asks, can I ask a question just to see if this is correct? What I'm thinking, AVO will present their Q2 earnings tomorrow. I don't know. It wasn't an overnight hold for me. Ask questions in my challenge chat room, please. So, Q&A is for my challenge, my trading challenge students. We have a whole separate chat room in here where, you have people like Mark Crook and, Tim Grattani is usually, there's Croy Runner. He's usually commenting, but near the market open, he's trading. But that is where you guys can ask me questions. I'm sorry, I get way too many questions these days, so please follow the rules. But props to a lot of you guys. Here's Navia Williams. I love this. Bought IDXG at 88, still in at 90, but shows no profit. When in doubt, get out. Okay? If you're ever in doubt of a trade, you don't have to hold. So many of you guys email me like, oh, I'm in this trade, I'm not sure what to do. If you're not sure what to do, get out. That's the beautiful thing with these stocks. They move really quickly, okay? You're going to know if you're going to be right on a play like Specs. This is all today, okay? This is pre-market. It's gone from 250 to 420. You know if it's trending in the right direction. AVEO, when I'm shorting, there was a little panic, but it stopped right at 2. So I knew that it wasn't really doing much. NXTD, we know that it usually fails to hold morning spikes. So I should have been more aggressive on that one. That was my bad. What's another play that's moving? HTBX was one. HTBX really spiked yesterday. This doesn't usually hold its spikes, so this one's short. I would be careful shorting stocks under $1 a share. They just tend to go further than you think, and you have to be really extra careful. So I prefer shorting stocks, in the $2, $3, $4 range. NXTD was probably, so far the short of the day, where it's 40 cents a share off its highs. I mean, that's nearly a 20% gain if you catch that short. And Interactive Brokers had shares to short. I simply chose, the wrong one on AVEO, and this one is just choppy. So that was my bad. But I'm glad that a lot of you guys, in the chat room were nailing Specs. And what was the other one? Zach Lyon. I love this. Left another 6,000 on the table. Not sorry. Have a great day all. A lot of you guys message me, and thank you for messaging me, because I learn what you guys need to, or what you want to learn and what you want to know about. It's okay to leave money on the table. Where was that? Hold on, let me pull up this other student. I got to bring up my student, Roland Wolf, who just passed 100,000 in profits. I've actually never met him, but I'm doing something special in a few days. I'm actually going to meet him. I'm kind of excited. But he posted a few days ago, where was it, right? How do I see the tweet? Not just the photo. Stupid Twitter. Twitter is like redesigning itself. So bad. Okay, so this is what he said. Gotta love this market. The junk is running. Nailed this one in chat with Timothy Sykes. Left quite a bit on the table, but no complaints. Okay, and he made $5,000. And, ITKG went further. If he had sold it at near the market close, I think it would have been like 9,000. And then the next morning, I actually got a good sell off at like 11 cents a share. I think he could have made 11 or 12,000. And yet, when he makes 5,000, he has no complaints. Very similar to Zach Lyon, where he said, wow, and I left another 1,000 on the table. Not sorry. Have a great day. So Zach and Roland get it. Whether you make 1,000, like Zach did, and he locked it in, and he could have made more, but he's got to go to work. Or Roland, who locked in 5,000 and could have made, another 6,000. Both of them left roughly 6,000 on the table. Both of them, they're two different totally people. They don't know each other. And they're both saying no complaints, not sorry, because they've learned. What I want to teach you is how to take the meat of the move. Sometimes, on these plays, AVO didn't panic the way that I wanted. So I simply got out. If I had lost $247 instead of making $247, I still would have been fine with it. It's okay. DXTR did not do the morning spike yesterday, but in the video lesson, I warned ahead of time that might happen. I'm not sorry. No complaints. When I made 2,000 here on DXTR, I actually sold that pretty well on that trade. I sold it at like 36, 37. And I wanted to give it more time, but, on these junky, sketchy, speculative stocks, I just aim for singles. I don't go for home runs. On ITKG, this was a nice little dip buy where I made 1,000. NTN, I got a little stubborn. I tried to hold it more, and, that was in my long-term newsletter. Then ITKG had a nice $5,900 profit. DCTH, I totally underestimated this. This is probably the biggest underestimated trade of the year, where, this one, I bought it at 8.8 cents and I sold it at 9.67 cents. And DCTH, went all the way up. This is a 3-day chart, but this thing went all the way up to 35 cents. Okay. And I was buying it, where was it? Somewhere in here. I think in here on this breakout. Was it here? I don't know. Somewhere in here. I was buying the breakout. And, totally underestimated it. But there's no complaints, because if you miss the top, it's okay. And I want more of you guys to get used to that. You do your best, but if you don't time it perfectly, it's okay. You're just trying to take advantage of all this, ridiculous volatility. I mean, Specs is the most active right now and most speculative. MBRX, speculative. AVEO keeps going up. It's not guaranteed to be its first down day, so I'm glad that I accepted the lack of a morning panic. I didn't whine about it. I didn't hold and hope. And that's what you got to do. That's today's video lesson. This is the new trend, speculative junkie stocks spiking. And, you go in with a plan. If it doesn't work, you simply cut losses or exit safely. But if it does, that's pretty sweet. And if for some reason you don't capture all of your profits, if you capture 1,000 out of, 7,000, be like Zach Lyon and say, not sorry, and then go into work and realize how much better trading is than a normal job. And now, as the market's been open for an hour, so really you want to start trading in the first hour of the day. That's when you get the most volatility. I got to congratulate more students. I try to look back. I get a little overwhelmed. Here's Bill. Specs, 100 shares in at 320, out at 405. That's an awesome job, Even if you have a small account, he put in 320 bucks, he came out with $400. So some of you guys, I get messages where you're like, oh, I have such a small account, it's going to take forever to grow. Well, with that attitude, yeah, it will. Or you can start focusing on these volatile plays. You can start saying, wait a minute, what can I do to start growing it? It is going to be a long process. This is a marathon, not a sprint. But if you have the right mindset and you're ready for this marathon, it's not that bad. And whether you buy 100 shares or 500 shares or 1,000 shares, I love this. Here's Bill. Look at his Profitly chart. He has 5 trades, made 350. And on this one already, he's making 80 cents a share, making, 80 bucks, maybe 60 or 70 bucks after commissions. But he learned. That's what a lot of you guys with small accounts don't get. It's not just about the money that you make in the first month, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, 15 months, 18 months. It's about focusing on the hottest stocks, learning how to take the meat of the move, and trying to capture it. And then if you do well, guess what? It's a good challenge to grow your small account. And, you're better prepared for when you have a bigger account. Almost all of my top students started with a small account, because it forces you to really think, and it forces you to, develop good habits. I have a lot of people who start with 6 figures and they're like, oh, this is going to be a cinch to make 7 figures. I already have, 100 or 200,000. And invariably, I don't know why I pronounced that so wrong. Invariably, the 6-figure initial starting amount students do not become millionaires because they don't practice good habits. They're sloppy. They're taking, $10, $20, $30,000 swings up and down because they have so much, and they treat it like it's like a candy shop. It's a fat kid in a candy shop. So I'd much rather you guys start with smaller accounts. You can start with a few $100s. It will take you a little while to build it up, but it's going to make you a better trader. And when you do eventually make it, when Bill, definitely will become a millionaire eventually. I don't know if it's going to be in a year or 3 years or 5 years or 20 years, but if he keeps up with his learning and he keeps up with his studies, he will. He will look back at this and he'll say, wow, that was a journey. I'm grateful for every dollar. I'm grateful for when I had very little. My parents and I are actually on a trip right now. And we're just looking around and we're just like, wow, I started this whole thing nearly 20 years ago with just a few $1,000s in a small town, Orange, Connecticut. And now we're traveling all over the world, and, people are recognizing me on the street, and it's pretty sweet, to not just make money, but to have the journey of your lifetime. So that's why I give props to people like Bill. And there are some spoiled rich assholes who will say, oh, this is so stupid. Penny stocks are stupid and making $60 is stupid. Well, your attitude is stupid. The way you look is stupid. Don't ever be negative to anybody who's just grinding and starting their journey. So Bill, I'm proud of you. Zach, I'm proud of you. A lot of you other guys, I'm sorry, there's really way too many people to congratulate these days. And again, even if you just make 10 cents a share, like Redneck 50 Pig right here, you're learning. So don't just focus on the money, focus on the education, focus on, just seeing how to deal with this volatility. Congrats to all of you guys. I'll be in the chat room. Thank you.